So this episode of Chicago's Bravest Stories is brought to you by Lifeline Ambulance.
You an EMT, paramedic looking for a full-time, part-time, or seasonal job? Lifeline Ambulance is looking for both. And they're in the Skokie and Chicago locations. Very competitive pay, benefits available. Check them out.
Vision, dental, go to lifeline2020.com. At the top of the page, you'll see apply for a job. I mean, I've worked at a private ambulance. I know you have, Corey. It's really your foundation into, being a paramedic or an EMT. I can't think of anybody who's a paramedic or EMT with any time on that hasn't started their career as working for a private. It's just kind of part of the process. So, it really builds the foundation of your EMS career. Everybody has their stories of, working for a private, and Lifeline Ambulance isn't your typical private ambulance service. These guys really are more like a family. They have competitive rates. They're looking for full-time, part-time, EMTs, paramedics, like you said. So go apply lifeline2020.com. What else, Corey?
Yeah, you said it, Vince. I mean, I know you don't use a stair chair, but I learned everything I know about a stair chair from working the private. So that's where you're going to get your start.
And unlike Corey, I use a stretcher to convey properly my patients. So
definitely don't
you'll get to learn those skills too. Now, in all seriousness, lifeline2020.com. This episode sponsored by Lifeline Ambulance Service. Thank you. Check them out.
Even 1, Engine 4, Truck 2, Truck 10, Ambulance 82, Battalion 2, Fire 1020 North Main, help is on the way.
Okay, welcome back to Chicago's Bravest Stories. On the phone with us today is Rich Pinskey. How are you, Rich?
I'm great. Thanks for asking.
We kind of wanted to have you on here for a couple reasons. Number one, we wanted to talk to you about Ignite the Spirit. And for those people listening who aren't involved with Chicago, could you kind of explain what Ignite the Spirit's all about?
Ignite the Spirit's a charity that we take care of firemen and paramedic families in need. It was started after 9/11. So 2003, we kind of formed this group of, I got a group of friends together and said this is kind of the idea I had. And we wanted to help families that's with hardship. And, obviously most of us went to New York to help. And so we wanted to come, when we came back home, we figured, hey, let's get something in case, hopefully nothing catastrophic like that would happen here, but to put something into place where if something, any kind of hardship come up or rise to any of our CFD families, we could do something to help with immediate care, immediate help.
Right, and I know that this year's been particularly hard on Ignite the Spirit with the COVID and everything. You're not able to do the big fundraisers that you normally do.
No, I mean, we usually do 8 to 10 events a year, and that's where we get our money to put in the bank. So when the phone rings, we're able to go to the bank to write that check to help that family out. And this year, we've had to pretty much, because of COVID and everything else that's going on, we had to kind of just shut the doors and kind of just. We've gotten a lot of donations. We've got a lot of help from people that know what we're about and what we've done, that have kind of really spearheaded it and really kind of pushed us along through the year, which has been great. So we still got money coming in. Not a lot, but we haven't been inundated by a lot of need, which is always a good thing. But any given day, I tell people we're one good week of hardship away from probably getting in trouble financially.
Well, speaking of that, what's a great way for people to donate to you guys and to help out Ignite the Spirit? Because you guys really do, like, I've in my short time, I know that you guys have been at the door for people like immediately. You guys are really on top of some of these families that need help. And, without these people asking or whatever, you guys show up there like immediately. So what's a good way for anybody who's listening that can send, some help your way?
Well, first, we always talk about immediate help, and that's what we're kind of known for. We don't put it on Facebook. We don't tell people what we're doing for families because, we fly under the radar, which is something that we're kind of proud of. And we have a website, ignitethespirit.org. You could donate on our website, and there's things that like events that we get coming up, and a couple other tidbits that we have on there. Business of the month, things that we've gotten that we're trying to put out there so people could see what we're about, and can kind of stay attached.
Well, I know you guys have done tremendous work, and I also know you personally. You're how many days left?
I have 9 work days left. 9
work days,
and a little over a month.
A little over a month left of a 32-year career, right?
Yes.
That's amazing.
Those poor last couple people you're going to have interactions with. They don't have a shot.
It's been a great run. Everybody says how fast it goes, and it's so true. It's amazing how young the job is getting now. It's we're handing it off. We got a bunch of young guys I'm working with today that there's probably 4 or 5 of them got 6 years and less on the job.
Yeah.
So the future is bright for them.
What year did you come on, Rich?
1988.
1988. Okay. And where was your first assignment? Where'd you go?
I went to Engine 20.
Okay.
Which is over by Troop, which is by the old shop, and I was there for the single engine house, and I really didn't like the single engine atmosphere.
Yeah.
I kind of like I like to be around more people, so I transferred over to 112, and was here for a couple of years, and crossed the floor to Tower 21, which I'm still assigned to.
Wow! So how many years at Tower 21?
I've been on the tower for roughly about 30 years.
30 years. We had Father Tom in here on was Father Tom our second podcast?
Father Tom O'Crone?
Yeah. He was our second guest ever on this podcast, and he was talking about the lumberyard fire. Were you at that?
I was. Yeah.
Yes. I could. Yeah. I thought I saw pictures of you at that fire. Would you say that was?
We were at both of them. Which there's not a lot of people can say that,
No. What? Any other in your 32 years? Any other memorable something that really sticks out for you?
I know the gas explosions down in the Bucktown area. That was pretty prominent. I remember it being 40 degrees below zero, and I remember we had a busy day leading up to that, and then the gas explosions were, where that whole neighborhood was riddled with, they had some people's gas issue. Right. That houses were, there was flames that were, instead of being 3 inches, it was, a foot, and it was in multiple structures.
Wow.
So there was probably, I don't know the numbers, but there was at least 15 fires going on at the same time. And when you pulled up, you pretty much, Maine was so inundated with calls that you could pretty much pick your own fire that you wanted to go to.
You were just going from one fire to the other fire, just.
Yeah, it was one of those deals. It was cold, and it was we left the firehouse for a run up north, probably around 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and we didn't get back home until 8 o'clock in the next morning.
Wow. Do you remember approximately how many fires you went to just knocking those out that day?
I mean, it was probably 4 or 5. It was nonstop, and you're just so tired. But it was one of those memorable, probably my most memorable day on this job.
Wow.
I remember being in the basket, and we were throwing water on one of the houses that did explode, and my partner was sitting on a beach in like Cancun or something. I just kept thinking about what a difference. I'm freezing my ass off in this basket, and he's sitting on a beach, and it's just like, it's so, that's just chopped it off of you. The good and bad of being on or being off.
Yeah. You mentioned that, you kind of came up with the idea for Ignite the Spirit right after 9/11. That I never knew that was what started Ignite the Spirit.
Yeah, well, like I said, a bunch of us went, and then we came back. There was 3 family members that I knew. So I played in the World Cruise Fire Games that summer. So it was like that July or August of 01. And we got back, and Mike Fiore was his name. We played against him. We played against the New York team in this tournament. And Mike Fiore is one of the guys who passed away.
Yeah.
So I reached out to a guy that I knew out there, Danny Keene, was also a basketball player on one of their New York teams. I reached out to him and I said, I want you to find me 3 families, because what we want to do is we want to do an event here in Chicago. We want to fly the families to Chicago. So we flew all the families and their children and the parents to Chicago. It was like we flew like 30 people to Chicago.
Wow.
3 families. We had a big to do a celebrity basketball game with fire and politicians, and police and fire were involved. And then we had a celebration banquet afterwards, and we raised, it was probably about between $75,000 and $100,000. We raised a ton of money.
Wow.
We gave each family a chunk of money to help them with their grieving, and just to tell them how we supported them and we're here for them. And after that, it was just like, I go, this is a calling. I mean, we were good at it. It was a very successful event, and we're like, we need to put something together. I remember going down there for funerals because they were asking for people to come down because there were so many funerals. They didn't have enough personnel to attend all these funerals. So we went down with 30 guys. And I remember we were able to fly home because, flying was, you couldn't fly during the time. I remember flying home in a plane, and I kept just thinking to myself that I want to do something for our job. What is it that we could do to put in place that we could be ready for something like this? And I had a friend. We were talking about putting a calendar together. We're kind of throwing ideas around, and we came up with a marketing group that helped us kind of push this idea through. And they were giving me, we're sitting down, they were giving us kind of a sales pitch, and they were showing us like this. They had 3 different scenarios, and how to kind of to do your avenue to get this thing from start to finish. How to get off the ground, basically.
Yeah.
And there was a bunch of signs that they had, and there was one unturned sign in the room. And I said, what's that sign say? And he turns that sign around and said, Ignite the Spirit. I go, there's our name right there.
Wow.
It hit me like a rock. It was amazing.
So that sign was just sitting. They were going to pitch it to you, and they wound up not, or was it just sitting in the corner, like not even part of the process? Yeah, there was like 3. They did 3 presentations, and they pitched everything, and there was one sign that was unturned. And I asked, I said, what's that sign? Because we were going over, knocking our heads, trying to figure out what we name ourselves. Do you remember the other names that didn't make the cut? No, not at all. Really, I didn't. Because that thing was, once they saw Ignite the Spirit, I mean, you just knew. Me and Mike Aher, who's on our board, still on our board, sat there and we were like, oh my God, that is such a great name, and it's so perfect for what the cause that we're talking about doing. And I remember coming to the firehouse and telling people, and they're like, "That's a stupid name," It's just how guys are. It doesn't matter what the name would have been, now, Rich. Right? And now, 17 years later, it's a staple on our job. Yeah. It went full circle, which is it's awesome.
This episode also sponsored by
Firehawk Coffee.
Firehawkcoffee.com. Actually, I'm kind of peed off at these guys because they took one of the college nicknames that I gave you, which was Firehawk. Added coffee to the end.
They're going to have to pay royalties to you and I
for
stealing our name. Firehawkcoffee.com, 20 gourmet coffees, the single origin, the flavored blend. They even have these sample packs so you can pick your own favorite coffee. Free shipping, and one of Steve's favorite coffees, the breakfast blend.
Yeah, I say loved it. They also have a couple other their top sellers. Another great college nickname, Italian Dark Roast, 6-bean dark blend.
There's your nickname right there.
We thought that we know Bill's over there working really hard on making all these original roasts. So
yeah, if you're tired of drinking that swill that sometimes wind up at the firehouse where the cook that's all he could grab when he was at out shopping, then you really will appreciate Firehawk Coffee, because there's nothing worse than going in, grabbing that pot, pouring it, and it's dealer's choice.
Yeah. You don't want to get your coffee from the same guy you get your rip-off DVDs from, okay? So yeah, remember, visit firehawkcoffee.com, and right now they've got free shipping anywhere in the U.S.
You can also use promo code Firehawk10. That saves 10% when you spend $20 or more. And another promotion going on at Firehawk Coffee is buy 3, get 1 free. So buy 3, get 1 bag for free. So Firehawk Coffee, check it out. It really is great coffee, and like I said, they'll ship it right to you. So firehawkcoffee.com. Thank you so much. Well, Chicago's Bravest Stories, we have some money for you. We did a wristband sale, and we were going to end it within the next couple days, but I think what we'll do is we'll keep it going since we're going to put out your podcast. We'll keep it going for a little while and try to, raise a couple extra bucks here for you. But we, it's for our mental health awareness for police and fire. But, obviously the fire one sold a lot more. And, we just, we'll keep this going for a little bit and try to raise some more money for you. Do you have any events that are going to be coming up?
No, right now we are.
You guys got the calendar going though, right? You finished shooting for the calendar? Yeah,
the calendar's been shot. It's going to be coming out probably in a month or so. So that's really the only thing that's on the burner for us, which it kind of stinks. We actually do a big toy drive in December, which I don't see how it could happen. I mean, we will try to push it through, but we have to be in these hospitals, and it's probably the worst place for us.
Let me ask you something. When you wanted to do the Ignite the Spirit, is that something you had to run through the higher ups? Did this have to go through the commissioner, or did it have to go any higher?
We did. So it's there's always stories with everything, right?
Yeah.
So Ray Orozco was our district chief at the time, and I called Ray Orozco and had him told him I wanted to have a sit-down meeting with him. He came to the firehouse, and I sat down at the kitchen table and told him what I had. And he's like, I'm 100% behind it. Whatever you need, let me know. And it just, that was all I needed. And then he kind of set the table for me at the headquarter level, and it was off we went.
That's great. That's great.
And which is a positive thing, because the upper echelon has always supported us. Every commissioner has supported us all the way through. I mean, they've been great. I mean, it's just, they pretty much, whatever we need, they're like, we're here for you.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing. And, like I said, what people know about you is one thing, but I think the amazing thing that you guys do goes pretty much unnoticed, because you guys really don't, you're not putting it out there that you've helped this family or this guy.
Right.
So, even though you're not hearing about Ignite the Spirit, front and center, I just want everybody listening to keep in mind that everything that Ignite the Spirit is doing is mainly done, behind the curtain and, in full, anonymity. So, thank you so
Yeah.
much. And that's why we kind of wanted to have you on today to kind of, bring a little more awareness that, there are people out there, God forbid I should ever need you. I know that you guys would be there on my doorstep, right away. And other people should know that you guys are out there for the members.
Well, the numbers we like to throw out there is we've helped over 600 families, and we're at we're about $20,000 from 1.6 million money that was given away since '03.
That's amazing.
So, which when I think about those numbers, when we talked about it early on, I figured if we gave a couple $100,000 away and did what we could for families that when the phone rang, we were there for them and did what we could. That's really what this was about. And to get to where we are now, it blows me away. And the fact that we have 3 charters in other cities has always been my vision. And now that's happening. So,
well, that's the other thing I wanted to touch base on is when I talked to you over the phone prior to this podcast, you were saying that you had other charters in other places. Give us a list of that, in case anybody else is listening. And we have, other departments that listen to this podcast in other states, so they may not be aware that, you guys have a charter.
Yeah, we have Milwaukee, Wisconsin has been on board for 2 years. We have Leamington, Canada has been on board for about 6 years. And Greensboro, North Carolina, they've been on board for about they've been on board the longest. They were the first group. They've been on board about 9 years.
And I know you guys are looking for more too, right?
And we're pushing. Yeah, we're pushing. We're always trying to get more cities involved because I think we have a good product. I tell people we're helping our own. I mean, it's something that we do every day in the field. Let's think about what we got inside these walls. Help our own people.
Yeah, that's amazing. And can people get the calendar? That's a good source of revenue for you. They can get the calendar at ignitethespirit.com.
ignitethespirit.org.
.org. I'm sorry, ignitethespirit.org.
You can donate on the website. You can get the calendar on the website. You can get information on what's going on with us on the website. Yeah, it's something that we're kind of it's new. It's a new site, so we're kind of hoping that it really takes off. It's more media, social media friendly.
Yeah, and we have a link on our page too to Ignite the Spirit to donate to on chicagosbraveststories.com. And so if they can't get to you guys or they're already on our site, please help this charity out. Especially the members who are listening. Help us out on it's a great cause, and the work that you guys do is amazing. And, on every podcast here, Corey has something he wanted to ask you.
Have you guys, you've been around for a long time. How?
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite parts, Rich, by the way.
Rich, what's one of the best pranks you ever been a part of or saw?
Best what?
What are the best pranks you ever been a part of or saw?
Best prank.
Yeah.
In 32 years, Rich, you got to have something. I'm sure you
saw a couple.
I do have something. So, firemen are big lottery guys,
Yep.
So the one guy was sleeping. I'm not going to even bring up his name. The guy was sleeping, right? So they go in and get his lottery ticket, and they put the numbers, the winning numbers on the board. This guy thinks he's won the lottery. And then it was hilarious how they pranked him to the point where he was calling everybody. He was quitting. I'm walking out the door, F you this, F you that.
Fuck that guy. Fuck you.
Right,
You're
exactly.
cool.
I never liked you.
Oh my God. He had to have been out of his mind. I can't even imagine when you guys told him what kind of.
Yeah, I can't imagine that conversation.
So he checks his tickets. And he's looking at the board. He's like, okay, I guess this. Oh my God, I just won the damn lottery. I mean, it just
genuine, because he genuinely thought he did.
Oh yeah, he did. That's just if you knew the person, you'd be like, oh my God, because he was one of those guys. spontaneous. It was just it wasn't soft. It was nothing about. He was bringing the energy.
Well, thanks a lot, Rich. I appreciate it.
Well, Rich, thank you. I'm glad you and I have been talking back and forth for a while, trying to get you
we
on.
have been.
And I know you've been busy, and so thank you for actually taking the time. And when you finally do retire, we want to have you in the studio. Have a glass of whiskey with us, and let's talk
great.
about 32 years with the Chicago Fire Department. I'm sure we haven't even scratched the surface with you, and I'm sure you got a lot of great stories in your 32 years. So, again, thank you for your service. Congratulations on your retirement. And if there's anything else that's coming up, Ignite the Spirit-wise, let us know so that we can promote it for you. I think that, there's still a lot of people on this job that don't know that you guys exist. And
you're absolutely right.
It's a shame. So let's try to change that. And like I said, let us know anything you got going up. So thank you so much again.
Thank you, Rich.
Thanks for tuning in to Chicago's Bravest Stories. We'll catch you guys next time. Thanks.
All right, guys. Thank you. Thanks, Vince.
This has been a Fire and Iron Media production. You have something to say, people want to listen. How's that, Daddy?
The opinions and views are that of Chicago's Bravest Stories and their guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any municipal governments, fire protection districts, fire departments, EMS, or law enforcement organizations.